Hi, everybody. I know I'm late. I'm late. I'm sorry. Life is happening to me, and I'm late. Hello, Victor. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. Just want to talk to you guys. Here, let me hit the admit all button because this is going to drive me crazy. Thank you, Val. I'm trying diligently. I got 10 more pounds to hit my goal weight. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm diligently trying to ditch some unwanted pounds. And it is starting to show, apparently. People are realizing I'm down 40 pounds so far. I got 10 more to go and I'll be happy camper. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I know we're going to have some questions today, but I want to talk about, and forgive me. Thank you. Forgive me. I don't know if it's AB 12 or AB 14. I just know it's AB bad. Okay. That's what it is. It's AB bad. So I don't remember if it's Assembly Bill 12 or Assembly Bill 14. Thank you, Geraldo. It is Assembly Bill 12. It is past the Judiciary Committee. It is past all of its bureaucracy and bullshit. It is now up on the floor for vote. So why is Patty panicking? Patty is not panicking. Patty is just trying to tell you, if you have a vacant unit right now and you're about to rent to somebody, collect the higher deposit while you can. Okay? As soon as this law passes, thank you, you guys. You guys are all so sweet. Thank you. I'm getting older. So I'm like, I have wrinkles and things, and you guys just always make me feel better. So thank you so much for that morale boost. I need that every once in a while. Don't we all? Okay, so why Patty is freaking out about this new law they're trying to pass is this is one of those laws where you're going to hear about it after the fact. In other words, on a random Tuesday, Thursday, whatever day the damn wind's blowing, we are going to be notified that we can no longer accept more than 1 month's rent as a security deposit, effective immediately. That's how that's going to go down. So for right now, fill up your buckets while the grunion are running, because they don't run forever. If you have accepted 2 months rent as a security deposit and it's sitting right here in their account, and the law changes saying that we can only collect 1 month's rent as a deposit, guess what? That law came after we collected the 2 months rent deposit. So we're not in violation of anything. And deposits will be allocated once the property's vacated. So simply said, I'm holding on to your higher deposit until you get out. Okay? The chances of this passing is very high. Okay? Watch, you mark my words. You're going to be sitting at your desk one day just fat, dumb, and happy. And all of a sudden, it's going to be no more security deposits more than 1 month's rent, effective immediately, or effective last Tuesday. Shit. So be mindful of it. Be aware that it's coming. It is a matter of time before it affects us, okay? It is past the Judiciary Committee. It is up on the House of the Assembly floor for voting. If you haven't been paying attention, we're in a tenant-run state because they are 80% of the vote. So we already know how this is going to go. What we need to do is watch when it's implemented, okay? Fill up your buckets. Get that double deposit for rent right now. The chances of you being able to collect it going forward are slim and none, okay? So keep that in mind when you're renting right now, because we are going to get a notification from whomever, our apartment association, our legal counsel, Widget's Way, you never know where you're going to get it. And it's going to say effective immediately. And that's when you know it passed. They are not going to notify us in advance. They don't tell us these things are coming. They just wait for them to happen. All right, now I know people are going to beat me up. AB 12. Oh, thank you. Thank you, you guys. And just so you know, I had a lot of fun fishing. A lot of fun fishing. Like, I want to go back. It was the best trip, but not the best experience. Everything that could go wrong to me on my fishing trip went wrong. No joke. One of those lovely things, like as an example, I had a hot flash when I got on the boat and it didn't go away. And as we were pulling off the dock, I was puking over the side of the boat. I wasn't seasick. We weren't even out of the marina yet. It was a hot flash. Good times. I did catch several fish though, and some white sea bass, as a matter of fact. So it was a good trip. Channel Islands out of Oxnard's where I went out of. It was a good trip. I can't wait to go back again. It was fun. It was the very first time I ever went out all by myself, and that was fun. I will do that again. I'm not afraid. Okay, let's talk really quickly about the slowdowns that we saw with the courts when they opened the floodgates. And it was taking us 65 days to get a case number. We don't seem to have that problem right now. That tidal wave of eviction our judicial system, please take note, meaning when we file a case, for us to get an approved case number back is happening much faster. It's not taking 65 days anymore. It's happening much faster in most courts, okay? But there's still a slowdown. Does anybody want to guess where it is? It's with the sheriff now. Some of LA County sheriffs are taking 75 days to do a lockout. I just had that happen in Gardena, okay? So please be aware. The eviction process is going faster now in LA County courts. They're not so inundated anymore, but that inundation has now hit the sheriff's office. So if you're waiting for a lockout, buckle up. It's going to be a ride. Just had one go in 75 days in the city of Gardena. Ouch. So that's where our slowdown is right now. It's with Sheriff Civil Services. Please take note. There are usually 2 sheriffs appointed to civil services, sometimes 4. And they have to go out in teams for their own safety. That means there's only 1 officer or 2 officers doing this job. Now you understand why it's so delayed. Remember, when they make cutbacks in law enforcement, they don't cut back the person on the street dealing with that. The cutbacks they make are in civil services. You know, where you and I need them the most to go kick them out. So please take note if you're going through an eviction. It is extremely difficult. House in San Bernardino County. Our owners are required to put in a CO2 detector if the house is all electric and this garage is detached from the house. Let me think about that. So there's no gas appliances at all? I'm with you, girlfriend. I'm with you. If there's no gas appliances at all, why would you have a CO2 detector unless it was in the garage? And it's detached, so it's not connected. So I'm going to say the chances of you having to install one are slim and none. But I'm not the person you need to ask. It would be building and safety in your city. Make sense? The chances of you having to have one, and I don't know who it is at Roadrunner, because it just says Roadrunner. CO2 detectors required if the house is all electric and the garage is detached. I want to say no, because there's no threat of CO2 poisoning except from the fumes from the car exhaust from the garage, but it's not connected to the house. So I would want to say no, but I'm not the one that gets to determine that. It's building and safety in the city you reside in. I had a sheriff serve a small claims document. It took 2 days to serve it. It just depends on what city you're in and who you're hiring. If you're hiring court civil services, Compton's going pretty quick. It's Gardena that is taking forever to do a lockout. I don't know. I'm just telling you, I don't know. Don't shoot the messenger. They're hoping to post the property within 45 days of us requesting a lockout. 45. That's scary. In Larso, in a gated apartment building, the tenant upstairs is requesting a deadbolt on the back door for security. Are we required to put it in? Unfortunately, is a metal door, so it is almost impossible for a lock key unless we just put a bolt on inside. We had a sign off with LAHD SCEP inspection 2 years ago, and it wasn't mentioned because it's not required. It's not a requirement. Okay. Deadbolts are not a requirement. So if the tenant wants a deadbolt installed in the door, let them know that they could do that at their own expense. It would be a request for reasonable modifications to modify the property. Only they're going to have to put in a new door to accommodate the lock they want to install. And it's not based on a disability. So I don't know that I'd even allow it. It's up to you what you want to do. The choice is yours. And you can play that by ear. It's not based on a disability. It's a security issue, but the door's already locking. So you're already providing what's required by law. The door must lock and unlock. That's all. Keep it simple. It must lock and unlock. I heard some good advice about an item in the lease. Have a clause that says the tenant must open the bathroom window or use the bathroom ventilator to prevent mildew and mold issues. If not, the tenant is responsible. Hold on a minute. Geraldo, there's a mandatory mold addendum that came out on January 1st of 2022 that states all of this. So it is a requirement. It is mandatory, okay? And the new mold addendum even gives them photos. So just so you guys all know, mold that is acquired by improper housekeeping, improper ventilation, or unreported damages all fall on the tenant. Example, the kitchen sink leaked for 6 months, but the tenant didn't tell anybody until mold started growing up the wall. Whose fault? Landlord? Tenant? You tell me. Health and safety codes clearly state that they're responsible to keep the mold out through proper housekeeping and proper use of ventilation. The way you have to put it in your lease is with the mold disclosure required by law. It even gives photographs in the new mold disclosure that's required. So if you are following rules, then you will already have this mold addendum in place. And just so you guys know, what we're speaking about is health and safety codes. There's civil codes under health and safety, not business and professions and not civil codes, but health and safety, stating that a tenant, sorry, you guys, back, that a tenant is responsible for proper use of ventilation in a residential dwelling. They're also responsible for proper housekeeping to avoid mildew or mold issues. And if you have mildew or mold due to unreported unreported leaks, which became tenant-caused damage because they didn't report the leak, that falls on the tenant. Improper use of ventilation falls on the tenant. Improper housekeeping falls on the tenant. So if your tenant cries that they have mold and it's in their bathroom, I always start to chuckle right away and ask them, is this surface mold that has to do with ventilation or housekeeping? Because if so, it falls on you. Oh, no, this isn't my fault. Okay, I'll have the professional come out and diagnose what's going on there. 9 times out of 10, it comes back improper housekeeping. This is surface mold that they're not cleaning. Bing, you're now responsible. I tried to tell you. You didn't want to listen. I tried. So that's how that works, okay? There's a health and safety code for that. There's also for improper housekeeping and also improper use of ventilation. And your mold addenda should give you that information along with photographs, because photographs are required under the new mold disclosure. Just so you know. Can you charge a tenant for that inspection? Let me think about this, okay? Yes, if it's tenant caused. I don't think that the owner should be held accountable or have any financial responsibility for the negligence of the tenant. But that's my personal opinion. And I would kick the crap out of my attorney if they didn't argue that for me in court. Yes, I said I would kick the crap out of my attorney. You guys got to remember, I am you. I'm an owner. I got emotions too. I have skin in this game and it sucks sometimes. I'm telling you, you guys are going to find out when that assembly bill passes about limiting security deposits, because I'm going to get a bazillion questions that says, well, I can only charge them 1 month's rent as a security deposit, but then I got to charge an additional deposit for keys, additional deposit for pets, an additional. No, you don't understand. That is the maximum. You're done here. Nothing more than 1 month's rent, not a penny more than 1 month's rent. There is a way to collect more money, but it's not going to be in a deposit. Remember one thing, deposit means it's refundable. A fee is not refundable. It's that simple. For somebody out there that just went ding, 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 ding. Want me to say it again? A deposit is fully refundable. A fee is not. One more time, a deposit is fully refundable. A fee is not. So if we get capped out in the future, and I'm talking about future events, not right now, okay? If we're capped out on 1 month as a security deposit, can we charge an additional pet fee? Where can I find any of the latest code requirements in case I need to retile a bathroom double valves to single valves. You got to go to the city's building and safety. They'll give you the code requirements. Go to the city building and safety. They will help you. Speaking of fees, are we still not charging them in Larso property? Absolutely not. In Larso, I want you to look at it one way and one way only. It's not a fee, it's an illegal rent increase. That only applies for Larso, okay? It's not a fee. Think about it. Can you charge the tenant any additional rents? Can you charge them a pet fee? Can you charge late fees in Larso? So as far as charging fees at move-in, maybe. I'll ask the attorney, maybe you could get away with it. A cleaning fee. Don't do that, because then they just leave the house a pigsty, and whatever that $200 cleaning fee, and it's a $1,200 cleaning job, and you had it as a fee, that's all you can charge. So you got to be careful with that. RSO and SCEP fees. You cannot have additional expenses to the tenants, except for your SCEP fees. That's it. So no pet rent, no additional occupant fee. Look at it this way. If you implement any of those fees, they're going to call it an illegal rent increase. Ding, 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 ding. I hope this is making sense to you. And I'm trying to get you to ask the question so I can just sit here and shake my head no, because no, you can't. No additional expenses to the tenant in Larso, which is now DCBA is Larso, just so you know. DCBA is LARSO. It's the unincorporated cities of LA County. And I hope that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. As far as everything else that's going on, like I said, we're not having a big slowdown in the LA County courts now. The slowdown seems to be at the Sheriff's Department. And we're dealing with that the best we can. It's bad though. I mean, 75 days for a lockout. Ooh, wait. And the tenants move out the day before. They know. I don't know how they know, but they know. And it's garbage. Okay, somebody said something. LARSO, regarding fees that is written anywhere, need to show one of our owners something in writing if possible. I'm trying to understand what you're asking me. You, in Larso, you can raise the rent once annually, whatever the CPI is, okay? Whatever their rent control restriction is. There can be no other expenses to the tenant. So if they bring in a pet and you want to add pet rent, you can't. You can't. It's an illegal rent increase. It's okay, Melanie. Don't apologize to me ever, you guys. Come on. I'm the one that's the blonde, okay? I'm the one that goes, oh, let me think about this. Sorry. In LARSO late fees, is it written somewhere so we can show the owner? No. Let me tell you this. Your legal counsel is going to tell you, don't include any late fees. Don't charge late fees, especially in LA right now. And I'll tell you why. There's currently a case law case going on. And once that goes through, I have no doubt we're going to lose late fees. They're going to remove them. They're not going to be allowed anymore. okay? And let me explain why. If I don't pay my mortgage, my bank, my mortgage company charges me $35. $35. But I charge my tenant $250 as a late fee because it's 10% of their $2,500 rent. Now, if I don't charge that and just use it as a tool, it's a deterrent. But if I actually charge it, I'm price gouging. How am I inflating the fee that I have to pay? You see the argument? We are all arguing they are deterrents, they are deterrents. But then when we charge it and collect it, we're price gouging. Ooh. See the argument? Just so you know. Sorry, in regards to LIS, is it written somewhere so you know it's not written? There's a case law case going on right now, which is telling all of us, don't charge late fees. I mean, now we're actually going back and telling people remove any rent increases you did in LA County during COVID because we don't even want to use them on the 3-day notice. You'd be happy with a $35 late fee? I gotcha. Any news regarding the help from small mom and pop rentals and when that will be available and what are the requirements? Tony, I haven't heard anything about that $30,000. And in all fairness, I'm going to say it. You guys can yell at me or laugh at me. Well, I know they said that they give us all $30,000 for those landlords that got affected by the pandemic and are getting screwed over and blah, 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 blah. But the reality is, our Democratic I can speak English, I promise. Our Democratic Party probably already gave it to the Ukraine or Russia. We just keep giving away American money like it's going out of business. Apparently it is. Don't get me going. Don't get me going. Why are we helping other countries when we should be helping the people right here in our own county? Forget other countries. What about our county? What about those of us providing a service? Yeah, I'll go back, Tony. Any news regarding the help for mom and pop renters, when that will be available and what are the requirements? I have no information on that money. I haven't heard anything about it. Hang on, Tony, I'm going backwards. What is the time frame? Here's what I missed. Hi, what is the time frame allowed by law to serve a rent increase notice to a tenant? A landlord asked me because she served the 30-day notice yesterday around 8:20 p.m. The tenant was not happy about the increase and let her know that Basta said she could only serve them between 9 and 5. I let her know she's fine and not to worry about it. Tell me you love me. 8 to 5 has to do with when a landlord can enter a property, not with when they can serve a notice. We got a lot of tenants that pretend they're attorneys and they know what all the rules are. You can serve a notice on, remember this, the day you serve the notice doesn't count. The following business day is day 1, unless you're serving a straight time notice, a 3-day get out, I'm sorry, A 3-day quit notice or a 5-day forcible is straight time. Weekends and holidays count. Okay. On a cure or quit or a pay rent or quit, weekends and holidays do not count. So you can serve a notice any day you want to, anytime you want to. Let me give you an example. The day you serve the notice doesn't count. So I always serve my 3-day pay rent or quits on Sunday. So Monday is day 1. And I usually serve it at about 11 o'clock at night. Paying attention? I'm wanting your mind to go, I get it. I got it. I understand. If I'm serving a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit, do you think I want to serve it on Thursday? Think I want to serve it on Friday? I want to serve it on Sunday or Monday. No joke. I don't want to give them any more time than I have to. I hope that helped you, Tony. If it didn't, let me know and I'll go back. And I don't know about the money. I've been watching it. I'd be happy with the $35 for late fee. Can you charge pet rent in Larceau? Nope. Possibly from the beginning of a new lease, but I just wouldn't charge pet rent. It's too risky. What happens when they get rid of the pet? Then you reduce the rent? You get it? I just don't like it, okay? Can you go back to my previous question about serving services? I think it's about serving notices. Hang on. Any news regarding help? No, I saw that one, Tony. Hang on, I'm going back. What is the time frame allowed by law to serve a rent increase notice to a tenant? I got you, Tony. I got you. The problem is I was focused on the 9 to 5 and that doesn't matter. Anything that's 10% or less is on a 30-day notice, and anything more than 10%, so 10.01% goes on a 90-day notice. There is no 60-day anymore. They removed that during COVID. I'm trying to hide my shirt so I don't offend anybody. What's about to pay rent? Oh, what about pet rent? Single family residence, LA City, not rent control. It's questionable. Hear me out. There's lots of arguments going on right now that the additional rents you're charging aren't allowed. You even call it pet rent. It's an illegal rent increase under rent controls provisions. All those additional ways that we were collecting money, you know, charging them additional for garage. So far, we can still do that one. Charging them additional for storage. So far, we can still do that one. As far as pet rent, I wouldn't do it. Not in LA County. Stop it. They're going to call it an illegal rent increase and use it against you at some point. So just stop doing it. Make it, it's bad. If you're already there, just don't do it on any new tenants coming in, okay? It's just too risky. Okay. Ukraine funding is a bargain. Ukrainians are paying with blood to remove the threat for Russian imperialism. We are paying pennies on the dollar for this. I completely and totally understand. My point was we're donating money to everybody, and I'm not niching that we're helping the Ukrainians. That wasn't my intention. What I'm saying is we're also giving $1,500 to anybody that comes over the border and a one-way bus ticket or plane ticket to any state they want to go to. We're also, so what I'm trying to say is we're so busy giving money to all these other people, we're not taking care of the people in our own freaking communities. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not complaining that we're helping other people. I'm complaining that we should be helping people in our own, I'm not even going to say in our own country, in our own county. We have landlords that are losing their houses to foreclosure because the tenants aren't paying and the government enabled it. But nobody's helping those landlords. We're hurting them, not helping them, but we can send money to other countries. That's the part that just makes my head hurt. I don't get it. Obviously, if the tenant allows us to enter at 6 p.m., all is right. Kern, yes, absolutely. If the tenant says, you keep serving me 24-hour notices to enter Monday through Friday, and I work during the week, and I want to be here during whatever you're doing, then you're going to serve them one on the weekend. If they still won't let you in at their own request, then you're going to start serving the covenant notices, okay? So if the tenant makes mention of, I'd rather have you come on the weekend, okay, serve the notice to enter on the weekend. Don't use that one against them in court because you shouldn't have tried to enter on a weekend. You did it at the request of the tenant. Okay. Okay. I'm going back. I'm reading all my notes. In the county of San Diego, when I am renewing a lease at the end of the term and I want to change a few terms, do I need to also use the change of term notice? No, you do not. If they sign the new agreement, then those are the new rules they have to follow. If they refuse to sign the new agreement, then I do a 30-day notice of change of terms for the things that you're trying to change. Can you charge pet rent, LARSO, from the beginning of a new lease or just charge a higher rent? Ah, Arlene, you picked it out. Everybody read what Arlene wrote because what she's saying is what you need to do. Stop asking for pet rent and just charge a higher rent at hello. It's kind of like me telling you guys, we're going to see some shifts coming in the very near future in the housing market. A butt ton of ADUs have gone up. Over 40,000 of them have gone up. Oh, you mean we're not going to have the housing crisis anymore? Watch, just watch. It's going to start going the other direction and pricing is going to start going down. Remember this, if you lower your base rent, you are lowering your income. If you lower the deposit, in a perfect world, that's money that doesn't belong to you. Wait, what? In other words, what I'm trying to say to you is give away the stuff that doesn't hurt your bottom line. Like deposits and free storage and free pet rent and free this and free that and discounted this before you start lowering the actual rent. Okay, we're going to see a lot of really inventive concessions coming about in the near future. Inventive concessions. Yes, rents are coming down. We're seeing it huge. It's starting. What about pet rent, single family residence, LA City, not rent control? It's still questionable. Just charge a higher rent. It's so much easier. How do you cause a new rental agreement for a long-time renters by serving them a change? How do you cause, Linda, write that a different way, okay? Because I'm not understanding what you're asking me. And it's a me problem, I'm sure. How do you cause a new rental agreement for long-time renters by serving them a change of, how do you cause? I'm gonna assume, Linda, that should say, how do you change a new rental agreement for long-time rentals by serving a change in terms? But yes, I don't.
That's exactly right.
How do you change a new rental agreement for long-time renters by serving a change of terms?
I had in my notes that you had said once you could get a new rental agreement, or you could cause a new rental agreement by serving the longtime tenants a change of terms. And I probably wrote that down wrong. I'm not sure.
Okay. So you know how you're trying to get a tenant to sign a new lease and they just won't do it?
Right.
If it is like for like, okay? Meaning you're not adding time, you're not making it a year, and you didn't change the rules. And it's like for like, okay?
Yes.
You can give them a 30-day notice to change the terms of tenancy, and the terms you're changing is the attached written rental contract.
Okay, so if I wanted to separate garages, is that a change without charging them extra? Does that fit that criteria?
If you want to do what to them?
Remove the garages from the rental agreement or the parking spots and not charge them extra.
If you do a reduction in services, you must do a reduction in rent.
I see.
That is the easiest way I can explain it to you. Let me put it this way. If I was paying $3,500 a month for a house with a pool, and you, the landlord, decided to fill the pool in with dirt, and I lose the pool, should I keep paying $3,500 a month to you?
No.
Same concept. Okay.
Okay.
And this is me saying right on the nose, you guys, just so you know I do that a lot. People are like, what are you doing? You're right on the nose. That's what I'm doing. You're right on the nose. But you know how we played that one?
Okay, thank you.
Anytime. Are rents falling? Yes, they're starting to come down. We're seeing a change happen in other communities. And we're starting to see it in LA County even. But we are having to lower rents and I'll tell you straight out, we're having to lower rents in Adelanto, Victorville, Hesperia, Apple Valley. We're seeing them come down in Lake Elsinore areas and things like that. So Riverside County, San Bernardino County, we're starting to see the rents coming down. They're not falling fast, but they are coming down. I am preparing a new rental agreement. What should I write regarding late fees? I do not put a flat fee. My old agreements say $5 per day up to 20 days. What would I write in the rental agreement? Honestly, I would write 10% of the rent. And I would make my late fee applicable on the 2nd of the month. You are not required to provide a grace period. I hope that all clicked. I'm going to be quiet now and let that process. So I would make my late fee 10% of the rents. And I would remove my grace period. So I would make my rent due on the 1st, delinquent on the 2nd, late fee applies on the 2nd. I have an old evicted, oh, I missed one. I got to go back. I'm bad at that. Sorry, Hilda. 1992 property, I believe. Does this fall under rent control? It is in, hang on. It is in RSO. Can I increase the rent now? And what's the percentage? I have a 1992 property. I believe this does not fall under rent control. If it is RSO, can I increase the rent now? And what's the percentage? Hilda, what city is it in? That's the only thing you didn't tell me. Is it in LA? Where is it? Help me. Is it in Baldwin Park? Because you're asking me how much you can raise the rent, but you never told me what city it's actually in. So I got a lot of questions. Some cities like Pomona only allow you to do a 4% increase right now. So I got to know what city it's in. I get that you're exempt from RSO, but if you have a property in an unincorporated city, then you're not exempt from RSO. I have an old evicted tenant who is now pleading to me to remove the eviction from his records because no one's willing to rent to her. What should I tell her? You'd be more than, how much money does she owe you, David? And these are the problems independent landlords deal with. So how much money does she owe you? I'd tell her to pay you off. And then you'll remove the judgment as being satisfied, but you're not removing the eviction. I need to tippy-toe around my non-cooperating hoarder. She just sent me photos of her recent car accident where her car is totaled. I suppose this means she will probably not pay her rent in June, which was coincidentally increased effective June 1st. We recently had a plumber in her hovel. We recently had a plumber in her hovel. I'm assuming that's a typo or you're messing with the blonde, okay? After several attempts. He is the one who told us about the horrid hoarding. Without being a jerk, I suppose I should serve her a 3-day to pay on June 2nd and prepare to evict. However, that shows I have zero empathy. How much empathy does your mortgage company have? I just want to know. This is business. And starting September 1st, we lose our teeth, Val. Maybe if the judges wanted us to work with our tenants because they were going to be a week late paying the rent, they shouldn't have taken away our recourse and allowed us to continue to do wage garnishments. But because starting September 1st, we can't do a wage garnishment unless that person makes more than $41 an hour, we're going to be real quick to evict. And we're not doing anything illegal, immoral, or unethical. You can't pay me? Bye. Same thing the mortgage company's going to tell you. Oh, you can't pay me? Bye-bye. Hold my beer while I foreclose on you. Oh, I'm getting Val schooled. Hang on. A hovel equals a small, squalid, or unpleasant dwelling. I got you. A hovel. I got you. I got it. I'd serve her a 3-day cure or quit to clean it up and be ready to serve her with a 3-day to pay rent or quit on June 2nd. And you don't need to have any empathy. She has a mental disorder, but that didn't stop her from paying the rent. And I hate to be an ass, but let me just say this. Do you have rental car coverage on your insurance? So that if you get in an accident and your car gets totaled, they rent you a car for free until your car's fixed. Do you have that coverage on your auto insurance? I have that coverage on my auto insurance. It costs me $2.50 more a month, and it's worth every freaking penny. Okay, paying attention? Okay. I'm going back. Attack her. No joke. Okay, Val, get ready for attacking. Yes, LA off the 110 freeway. That's what Hilda's telling me. Let me go back. It's off the 110 freeway. I need to know what city it's in. If it's in Los Angeles, is it in incorporated LA or unincorporated LA? Because if it's unincorporated LA, then it falls under the DCBA. If it's incorporated LA, then I have to look and see if the city has its own municipality and if they've come up with their own thing. Like, example, Pomona, 4%, Baldwin Park, 4%. There's another one I looked up yesterday and it was also 4%. Everybody else is about 10%. So here's what I could tell you. Google it or call your law firm and give them the address and they'll look it up for you. You can even do that. Call FastEvict 909-889-2000. Ask for Angie. Give her the address. She'll look it up for you and tell you exactly how much you can increase. 909-889-2000. Ask for Angie. Because that's who I go to. She's quick. She could tell you in less than 30 seconds who governs you and how much your increase is. I have an old evicted tenant who is now pleading me to remove. Oh, yeah, I talked to you about that. Okay. I need to tippy toe. I don't know how I got lost. Here I am. David says, I don't remember. Well, we both have the same problem, David, because I don't remember anything at the moment either. Here, I found it. She will probably say she is too injured. She'll probably say she's too injured to clean the property. This is a BST. Is that a bullshit tenant? Is that what that means? She'll probably say she's too injured. Well, then would we contact Adult Protective Services because she's not capable of taking care of herself and needs assistance? Don't you do it. It's retaliatory. Val will do it for you. Give her the address and the phone number. You need her to call and report. I did call code enforcement in San Bernardino yesterday and tell them, hi, this is Fred Flintstone. And the code enforcement officer started laughing and said, yeah, Patty, here's the problem. You teach at my crime-free housing, so I know you tell people you're Fred Flintstone and your caller ID says FastEvict. So, Larceau, ouch. One of our tenants consistently blocks other tenants' cars overnight, so that doesn't allow them to leave freely. I'm going to start with a letter because I'm not sure of what notice to post, or can we just tow the car if the notice is posted? This is a volatile tenant. Paying attention? Call a tow truck company. The rules change every 12 miles, so don't ask me what the rules are. I don't know except for a specific area. They change every 12 miles. No joke. Okay? Tow trucks, whole different beast, okay? They don't allow them to do tows outside of their covered area. They can only do tows within a 10-mile radius, okay? So you've got to call one in your city. Tell them that you want them to come post the city rules on your property regarding towing. And they will come up and they will post little signs up everywhere about you will be towed if. Okay? And then when the tenant does it again, call the tow truck company and have their car towed. So when they park everybody in there at 9 o'clock and block the whole rest of the community in there, pick up the phone, call the tow truck company and get their vehicle towed away. They'll stop doing that once it starts costing them money to get their car out of impound. I learned while putting my rental agreement package together that you need to include a copy of the DCBA RSO posting to new tenants. Absolutely. Are you guys doing this? Yes. Also, I'm in the process of looking for an updated rental agreement. Which would you recommend to use? AGLA, AOA, CAA? Thank you, Tony. AGLA or CAA. I don't care for AOA's documents, and that's just my personal opinion. You use whichever document fits you best. Okay, I saw something about DCBA LARSO. Let me go back. DCBA RSO posting needs to be in the common area also, you guys, just so you know. Oh no, I think that's city. I'd have to go look, but I think it's got to be posted in the common area. So go post it in the common area and then take a picture of it so you can prove it was done. Would it be retaliatory for my assistant to call adult services on my injured hoarder? Can't use Tammy. If your assistant contacted code enforcement and told them what she witnessed in the house, they might go knocking and talking. Code enforcement. The whole idea is we want code enforcement to fine you, the landlord, okay? Yeah, we want that nasty little letter. Because the second code enforcement sends you a letter, you can start serving notices and it's not retaliation. A governmental agency is on your asset. And the only choice you have is to pass those teeth on to your tenant. Depending on the severity of the violations that are issued by code enforcement, it could be a cure or quit, or it could be a 3-day quit, depending on where we are in the process and what kind of threats the city's giving you. Your legal counsel will be able to answer that better than I can. Do you have a tow company in San Bernardino? No, I do not. Google it. And I don't mean to be an ass, you guys, but you gotta be 10 miles from their. They can only work in a 10-mile radius. They can't go 11 miles. It has to do with competition and something in the city's business and professions code that has to do with California law. And what it does is it stops all the tow truck companies. And I'll give you an example. Let's say on Cajon Pass, there was severe fog and a 150-car pileup. Well, don't you think every tow truck company would run to the scene of that accident just so they could get those tows and tow them off the highway in an emergency? And because it was an emergency, they charged $1,500. That's what they're stopping. They're stopping them running like ambulance chasers to a scene. I hope this makes sense, but it's laws they put in place for tow truck companies. They can only work in a 10-mile radius from their base station. And that would be the why behind that. Because, I mean, come on, how many of them would just be cruising around in places where it would be easy for them to get a tow? I know they should be cruising around the apartment communities in Larso, right? Yes, they're going to fine you, Val. First, they're going to send you a letter saying you must correct this. And if you don't correct it, they're going to fine you. And once they start threatening to fine you, now I can give your tenant a 3-day notice to quit. Get out because you didn't correct the city's notices. See how that worked? And it's not a cure or quit. It's 3 straight days. Get the F out of my house. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Honey, I know she can't get out in 3 days. You can't move out of your house in 3 days. I can't move out of my house in 3 days. It's impossible. Either that or you got to be really motivated. then I would need to store her crap. No, Val, if she's still there in 3 days, then you start the eviction. Got it? And I really did call code enforcement yesterday, and I told her, hey, this is Fred Flintstone. And she started laughing and said, Patty, it says caller IDs from fast evictions. And I'm like, oh, damn, but I'm not calling you. And I said, you know what? I could call you in this matter. I work with my coworker is complaining to me because they've had a mainline sewer backup at her neighboring property for the last 4 months. It's been dumping raw sewage out into the yard. 4 months. There's even toilet paper in her yard from the sewer. There's full-on feces coming out of the sewer line because they have a mainline stoppage. So every time they flush the toilet, it bubbles up out of the sewer line because it's plugged. It's been this way for 4 months. So she is complaining to me that there's a problem, but she doesn't want to do anything. So I call code enforcement. I get the code enforcement officer on the phone. I give her the address. I tell her my name's Fred Flintstone because I don't want to be involved in it. But at the same time, I need my employee to come to work every day and not be complaining that they can't sleep because it smells atrocious all night long. The owner didn't call. It's not retaliatory. A property manager not related to the property called. It's not retaliation. I have nothing to do with the income of that property. My only concern is the person that sits next to me at work. She did say that she slept great last night with her window open because guess what? Not only did code enforcement come, the health department came too. And if you guys have a mainline stoppage at your property for 4 months that you're not dealing with, shame on you. Shame on you. That's disgusting. Okay? I'm just saying. Has anybody ever experienced a mainline stoppage? I have. On a 3-day holiday weekend, of course. You know, where it's going to cost you 10 times as much to come get it cleared out, because it always happens on a 3-day holiday weekend. So yes, I had a mainline stoppage at my house. The plumber came out on the 3-day holiday weekend and he didn't charge me holiday rates because I send him a lot of business, but I still had to pay. Mainline stoppage at my own house. It was my house. So you know that I call them workmen and tell them, it's an emergency. You got to get over here right away. What's the emergency, Patty? It's in my house. I saw a couple more things come. Let's see what we got. Eviction could take 90 days or more. This is correct. Yep, I had to get a septic tank installed immediately. That was a miracle. Do you have any experience on moving a toilet over about a foot? I was going to say something, but it was bad. I was going to say, I think they call that a bidet. If you got to move a toilet out over about a foot, I'm assuming that you're going to have to pull permitting. Oh, and that would be considered major renovations, just so you know. Hope you're paying attention. Do you have to relocate tenant? If you need main sewage repairs, it depends on what's going on. And let me be honest. If you have a mainline stop, then they can't flush or put anything down the drains. That's a problem. Could you live in your house right now if you couldn't put anything down the drain or flush the toilet? No, you couldn't. So the answer to that is no. You have to put them in a hotel. And if they have renter's insurance, then their renter's insurance should cover that hotel expense for them. However, I always offer to pay the tenant's deductible to make it a little bit smoother transition. Hey, I'd rather pay their $50 deductible than pay to put them in a hotel. $50. And to give them a rent credit. Let me see what else we got. Do you have to relocate tenants if you need major main sewer repairs? It's potentially a possibility depending on the extent of the repairs. It may be temporary, it may be permanent. Usually major renovations that go over 30 days, if you have major renovations like that, then you can usually terminate tenancy. But remember, this is at no fault of the tenant unless they flushed G.I. Joe, Barbie, and all Barbie's friends down the toilet. Then we have a whole different set of facts. This is now tenant caused damage, and they're going to be responsible for the bill. Does renter's insurance cover plumbing damage done by tenant? It can. It depends on at what extent. Their liability insurance should cover any liability they cause. Okay. Tony, State Farm, Farmers, Allstate no longer insures in California except for vehicles. So State Farm, Farmers, Geico, they all do it, all of them. And usually this is what I tell a tenant. Whoever you have your auto insurance from is who I would contact regarding renter's insurance, because they usually give you a multi-policy discount. I have renter's insurance right now. I'm not living in a house. I'm actually renting a room from one of my children because I can't see for just me kicking tenants out of a rental house. Does that make sense? My smallest rental house is 3 bedrooms and it's just me. So I just need a room. I don't need a whole damn house right now. I will eventually, but right now I just need a room. So I do rent currently, and I have renter's insurance. I'd be a fool not to. Let me tell you guys something, okay? Do you guys remember all those crazy fires we had in Big Bear? I'm trying to remember the name of the fire, and it'll click in my head, and we'll be talking about it, and all of a sudden the name of the fire will come in my head. But you guys remember when they had all those crazy fires in Big Bear? It was before the pandemic. I still lived in Big Bear. So it was like 15, 20 years ago. Okay. There was a lot of fires going on. There was a fire coming up the front road. They had electrical wires fall during a windstorm that started fires in like Arrowhead and Running Springs, and those fires just ran right up that mountain. I lived in Big Bear at the time, and I was a tenant. I called my insurance company, and they said, whatever you need, we're here to help you, because I had renter's insurance, right? Check this out. So you know what I did? The only place I felt safe was near the ocean because everybody was complaining about fire. So yep, Cedar Fire. Yep, Old Fire, Cedar Fire, Grand Prix. David knows. Were you there? Yep, those were the fires. So because Big Bear was evacuated due to the fire threat coming that direction, I was forced out of my home. My renter's insurance kicked in. Listen up. They paid for all of my meals. They paid for my hotel. I was bored because I didn't have to go to work for a whole week. I didn't have anything to do. What do you do when you're bored and you're out at the beach? You go shopping. So I bought a new bedroom comforter set, and the insurance company said, oh, you needed a blanket while you were put out of your home. We'll reimburse you for that. You need new clothes while you were put out of your home. We'll reimburse you for that. So if you think that a tenant is getting crapped on by their insurance company, you're sadly mistaken. They paid for my hotel for over a week at the beach with the kitchenette in it and my 3 kids. They reimbursed me for a comforter set I bought because it was cute and it was on sale, but they saw it as I needed a blanket while I was put out of my house. And the clothes I bought, same thing. I got reimbursed for everything. So when a tenant is displaced and they have insurance, smile, hit the easy button because they're going to be well taken care of. Yes, exactly. Mini vacation. So don't let the tenant try to tell you garbage because it doesn't work that way. Okay. Do renter's insurance cover plumbing damage done by tenant? It can, yes. I had a tenant once, no joke. They sat down on the toilet and leaned back too hard, like that, real quick. And it made a half moon shaped stress crack in the toilet tank. Guess what happened? Water started running out of that freaking half moon hole that they made from the pressure in the porcelain, and water is now pouring out of the toilet tank. Do you think that my tenants reached down to the shutoff valve and turned off the water supply next to the toilet? They ran in their kids' room and got a Hot Wheel track and some duct tape and stuffed the Hot Wheel track in the toilet tank and duct taped it there to try to divert the water to go into the bathtub instead of all over the floor. They didn't call me and tell me there was a problem until water was running out their front door. Their insurance covered everything. Excusable neglect. Easy button. They can cancel you after a second claim. They cannot raise your premium after a first claim. Look at it this way. If you hire them to protect your asset, they can't penalize you the very first time you file a claim. That's what you hire them for. But the second time you file a claim, they can deny coverage and actually cancel your policy. Be aware of that. That was a tenant's renter's insurance. They had renter's insurance. Remember, with renter's insurance comes liability insurance. Was the tenant liable for stuffing the Hot Wheel track and trying to divert the water into the bathtub? They became liable. So their renter's insurance covered it. Liability. Got it? It's there for anything. Oh, Tony, are you going back to my previous questions? Okay, Tony, let me find you. I missed, sorry. Somebody's trying to call me right now. Let's get rid of them. So if a tenant drops something heavy in the fiberglass shower base and it causes a hairline crack and it is getting slightly bigger and you can feel it when you walk in, would their renter's insurance cover to remove the entire shower and replace it with the like? Most likely, yes. My question becomes, how did the shower get damaged? And hear me out, please. If the builders or the contractors didn't put the proper bracing in place, then all they have to do is step on it in the wrong spot, weighing over 200 pounds, and it's going to crack the shower pan. So what you need to find out is if it was properly installed, because if it was installed improperly, it's going to come back at no fault of the tenant. If it was installed properly and the bracing is there, then the tenant dropped something heavy in the shower and now their insurance company and their liability insurance kicks in because that's what they're liable for. Got it? Got it. And that water damage that you're going to get underneath is going to grow mold, and then they're going to use that against you. So I would start the attack on this issue right now. Mold is no joke. And I'm going to tell you guys this, so please, I'm blonde, okay? I'm blonde. Get ready. I got a feeling we're going to see a bloom of mold throughout this summer and winter, okay? So be ready for it. Be prepared for it. Remind your tenants to use proper ventilation and proper housekeeping. Patty, what are you talking about? Why? Why, Patty? Are you talking about mold coming out this summer? We have an El Nino summer. We are looking at a very, very wet summer going forward and an El Nino winter coming behind it, which will also be very wet. A licensed contractor installed it years ago. They have arthritis carpal tunnel in their hands. Their 64-ounce body wash with pump slipped and they broke the shower. So they need to contact their insurance company to come repair that. That is liability. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you and see if you ever called your insurance company to come fix the shower pan you broke. You might want to call your insurance company because I'm going to send a contractor out there and I'm going to have it done for you and send you the bill if you're not cautious. Because I can't have that leaking water under the foundation and creating a potential moisture issue. Moisture, not mold, moisture. Microbial growth. Don't use the 4-letter M word. It's worse than the F-bomb. Just saying. All right. Anybody have anything else? I'm going to let you guys get out of here. We already went like 22 minutes over, but I love you guys. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel much better. Thank all you guys. I couldn't do this without you. I hope you know that. And it's your questions and your concerns and that keep all of this going. So, okay. I love all of you. I'm trying to find the same shower. It is special order and it's about $2,000 for the shower. This not include removal disposal. Tony, I love you. Tell her to contact her insurance company. If they have to send a restoration company out there to do it like for like, then they will do that. If they cannot do like for like, they must upgrade you. Not downgrade. Got it? I hope that clicked. If you are having hardwood floor planking in your house and you have a flood for whatever reason, and the insurance company comes to mitigate that, in other words, recover the damages, and they can't find that flooring because they don't make it anymore, guess what? They have to put new flooring in. Want to know the easiest way to take advantage of that situation? Buy builder closeouts when you're purchasing your flooring. I love it that we call it a therapy session. But stop working so hard, Tony. Call the insurance company. Call their insurance company. If you're listed as additional insured or interested party, you can file the claim. Oh, hit the easy button. Thank you, Hilda. All right, if you guys need anything else, let me know. Let's see what we got going on. June 1st is coming. It is right upon us. It is tomorrow. Watch your rents. Okay. The second, this June 1st is tomorrow. The second is on a Friday. So if you want to serve a 3-day notice, you may want to wait till Monday or Sunday So you can do 3 straight days. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't like serving a notice on Friday. Friday doesn't count. It still makes Monday day 1. And now you gave them Friday, Saturday, and Sunday free, kind of. So it makes better sense for you to wait until Sunday, the 4th, to serve your 3-day notice for this month. Just saying. Okay. How to count 3 days. If you serve it on Friday, Friday doesn't count. Monday is day 1. Tuesday's day 2. Wednesday's day 3. You can start eviction on Thursday, day 4. Remember, the 1st is on Thursday, tomorrow. If the first day that it's delinquent isn't until the 2nd, which is Friday. So Friday, you can serve the notice. But Monday is day 1. Tuesday, day 2, Wednesday, day 3. The day you serve the notice doesn't count. So why not serve your notice on Sunday and have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, start eviction on Thursday? Okay. No weekends, no holidays. And when you're watching weekends and holidays and counting that up for this month, please remember Juneteenth, June 19th is a holiday now. It is not reflected on most calendars, but it is a holiday. Your courts are going to be closed and your post office is going to be closed. June 19th. They call it Juneteenth. It's a holiday now. Okay? Okay. All right, you guys have a great week. If you need me, hunt me down. I love all of you. Have a great week. Bye, guys.